All right, guys, man. It's your boy Trey with Let's Just Talk Movies and TV Shows, man. And I got a certain show I want to talk about, man. And maybe some of y'all have seen it, maybe some of y'all haven't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all don't know what I'm talking about at all. Maybe y'all don't even watch TV. Maybe y'all don't watch movies, man. But if not, you may want to watch this. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. You may want to watch it. Um, this was a really, really good one. This was a really, really good show. And I don't just say that to say that. I say that to say what I saw was incredible. Um, it started off slow, but then toward the end it picked up and it just got more and more crazy. You started to really like the characters. You started to build a bond with the characters. Um, yeah, yeah, you really started to build a bond with the characters. You really started to feel for them and really start to kind of become invested in them. And the show that I'm speaking of is called From. I watched it with the lady. She enjoyed it just as much. Um, and we just couldn't stop talking about it. We couldn't stop watching it, you know. But again, it started off slow. We went to it and then we pulled back. We actually stopped for like a few months and just kind of would just go back and forth and then we finally like you hit that's the thing about TV shows, movies too, but definitely TV shows. You gotta sometimes wait. You gotta sometimes like, you know, wait it out before you get to that part where you can keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, gotta keep going. Um, and this was one of the shows from. Uh, again, we watched it on. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell y'all the site because y'all know, but we watched it, and it was a really really great show. Started off again. There's gonna be spoilers because I'm assuming some of y'all know, but started off with Boyd, this man named Boyd, him being like the general sheriff of the town. But this town that they were in was a town that people kind of mysteriously became trapped in. It started off with them traveling down a road. You could be a family traveling down a road in a car. You come across this tree. The moment you see the tree, it's done. You already in the world. Ain't no going back. You in there. You know what I'm saying? And that tree became the symbolism of, in essence, you being trapped in this town, mystical town that you just couldn't get out of. Um, but that's not even the weird part, right? So as you get trapped in there, now you have until nighttime, until nightfall to get your butt inside of a house. But you need to get inside of a house with this stone called a talisman. And that stone should be placed or needed to be placed somewhere near a door. But you also have to make sure the house was sealed. If not, the stone would be of no use. If the stone fell down from the door, it would be of no use. Um, so yeah, you had to, in a sense, have a stone called a talisman. And the reason why is because there then would be these mysterious, weird creatures that would come out of the forest, and they would, in essence, rip apart all the humans in the town that were not protected by the talisman. And just kind of what they in a sense, in essence, got joy out of torturing humans. But they themselves looked like humans, but obviously they wasn't. They're like demons that look like humans or something. But yeah, that happened. You then start to, have other people who are coming and get trapped. They traveling down the road, see the tree, get trapped inside of the town, and the cycle repeats itself. Um, and that just became a thing for a while. Um, Boyd again being the sheriff, and he had all these other people around him that he really truly became like a father figure to, almost to everybody, pretty much. And along the way, however, Boyd himself you see him start to unravel as a character. At first, he's this strong character. You're like, man, I'm rooting for Boyd. I like him. He's strong. He's holding everybody up. Everybody's kind of surrounding themselves around Boyd. But when the leader starts to unravel, when the leader starts to break down, what do you think happens to the people that were following him? They break down as well. And so that's kind of essentially what started to happen toward the end of season 2. They haven't finished season 3 yet, but eventually they end up, Boyd ends up going out into the forest for more answers during the day, of course. But then it starts to get nighttime. He's forced to run into like a tree, but this mysterious tree forces him into this what looked like a well, and it was kind of like a well, but also like a tower. And he made it to the top of that well, and he ended up seeing a man there that looked like he had been there for years. I'm gonna be honest with you. But even though he looked very malnutrition, it looked like he just couldn't die, or just someone kept him barely living. And so he meets him. Boyd meets that man, and the man kind of talks to him and mentions his wife, something that his wife said. And Boyd's like, "How the heck did you know my wife?" Because again, that's something else in the show that you'll see. But essentially, Boyd's wife died. He had to kill his wife. And so that became a thing. That was a whole thing. That then led to him telling Boyd something super weird after he scratched Boyd with pretty much like he cut him and then like rubbed his blood on Boyd's blood and was like, "Hey, you now have my blood. My blood is now your blood." And started saying all this weird stuff to Boyd about his blood. And that essentially ended up leading to Boyd having these mystical little worm things running underneath the skin. But then Boyd started to see things and experience other different things as well that kind of just started to unravel him. Eventually, he made it back to town, but then he started to kind of still have these episodes to where he eventually had to tell everybody what was going on with him. But essentially, he ended up realizing that, probably if he cut someone else and then puts their blood on his blood, that they then would probably experience the same stuff, or possibly the curse that he has could then be passed on to someone else by rubbing his blood onto someone else's blood. And so with that knowledge, he then ended up just, I guess, deciding to try it on one of those things that come out in the forest at night. So he cut one of their necks, put his hand on the neck of one of those things, and the thing died. The thing died. They left it out there, but it stayed there till morning. They ended up realizing it was dead, drug it back in, dissected it to try to figure out what was going on with it. What does it do? Or, how did it come about? They ended up finding pretty much no blood inside of it. It was just made of organs, but no blood. And essentially they just didn't understand how it was even alive. Fast forward, they're now trying to understand other different things, because now people are starting to die in their dreams. So at first it was trying to protect yourself from these things that was coming out of the forest at night. Now people are going to sleep and dying in their dreams, and the physical altercations in their dreams are starting to happen in the present, and people can see it. So that becomes a thing. No one now wants to sleep. And there just seems to be all these other curses that are coming on the town that wasn't there initially before Boyd's, interaction with that guy. And fast forward to the ending of season 2, a woman makes her way to the top of a tower. Like, she sees a tower, she makes her way to the top of it. She gets to the top of it. A little boy appears and pretty much apologizes to her and say, "I'm sorry, but this is the only way," and then pushes her. She then falls out of the tower. Fast forward, she wakes up in the hospital. Mind you, this town they were trapped in had no hospitals. It was just a town. She woke up in a hospital. She gets out of the bed. She walks over to the window and realizes she's in a city. Essentially, the boy that pushed her out of the tower ended up, pushing her into the real world, outside of the town she was trapped in. So again, we don't really know what's going on. I'm gonna be honest with you. But right now. It just seems to be very, very crazy, very, very intensive, um, very mysterious, very mystical. A lot of things that we just can't explain. A lot of things that just can't put my tongue on, my finger on, because it's constantly bringing in new stuff. There's other things I didn't even mention, not to mention a dog that keep on running towards Boyd, what that is. But yeah, man, this show From is one you got to check out. It's one you got to check out. I highly recommend it. It starts off slow, but give it time. Give it time, and I think you'll be very impressed. I actually found it on TikTok. Someone recommended it, and I checked it out. So I suggest that you check it out as well, man. Give it a try, and let me know in the comments below if you've seen it, and if you haven't seen it, let me know in the comments below once you do see it. It's your boy Trey, man. Let's just talk movies and TV shows. Yeah, this is again a part of my movies and TV shows group. So the links will be below if you want to join any of the groups, but either the private or the public. And also, man, let us know what other things y'all watching down there, man. Subscribe to the channel, share this video if you found it helpful, man. But nonetheless, thank you for your time, man. I hope this was a bit entertaining. And stay tuned, man, because I plan on having more parts of this show because obviously it's not done yet. But I plan on having more things in place to talk about with this show. More theories and things like that I may highlight or key in on. So stay tuned, man. Go check it out. From. All right. Peace.